Can they see our hands from
I think, no.
X-Wing competitors.
Yeah.
We're about to kick off the top 32 packs. On table 1, it'll be Tom Reed versus Arthur Kleshik. On table 2, James Hewitt versus George Delapina.
Great, have a good one.
On table 3, Jack Moody versus Nick Harris. On table 4, Alan Barton versus David Blankley.
One in store Procure.
On table 5 is our stream table. Bentley versus Andrew Snowden. I think I got that right. Awesome. On table 6, Simeon versus Stephen Gage. Table 7, Twiggy versus Asha. On table 8, Martin versus Ollie Pocknell. On table 9, Tim Marsden versus Christopher Paul Edwards. On table 10, Kester Smith versus Lewis Witham. On table 11, John Manford versus Grant Rennie. On table 12, Lee Duncan versus Scott Bryant. On table 13, John Fawcett versus Callum Brown. On table 14, Lloyd Baldwin and Nigel Gray. Table 15, Brian Clark and Paul Owen. And on the final table, Fawn Lungland versus Robert Gagic.
Click 3, I'll install that. 4, I'll install that. What else?
Good luck, X-Wing, and we'll start in a few minutes as soon as everybody has gotten to their tables.
No reses from Ollie.
Yeah.
Which is pretty painful.
Yeah, you've got to wonder what's going on here. One of the interesting things one of the benefits of playing Shaper, funnily enough, is that friends in high places are not particularly good against you. You don't trash anything.
So text art and advanced assembly lines are key cards because
exactly.
they trash themselves.
So there we are. We see the short gamble.
Yeah.
Now he's got a respectable amount of money. I mean, it's not a ridiculous idea for him to drop an R&D interface if he has it. It is in his deck and start.
He can take an access a turn, right?
Yeah, I guess the ELP makes it worse.
I think he's quite a long way ahead at the moment.
Yes, I do.
It's early in the cut, but early in the game. But one thing about SFT versus ABT, successful field test versus accelerated beta test. One of the reasons you play successful field test is for these matchups where they don't particularly contest your board. Ooh.
Yeah, so it just looks. This is sad. It just looks like Ollie is flooded.
I think he is. Yeah. So it feels like he hasn't drawn any key assets. He's not got. He took that turn where he didn't install anything, and now he's drawing again. Yeah.
Oh. But maybe you'll find a Jackson Howard. Things can always happen. He could still end up with a moon with a bunch of counters. So no HP credit because employee strike.
So strike is sneaky powerful against moons.
It is, yeah. In the mid to late game, all it is overwriting cards. But in the early game like this, you're denying them lots of credits. You make advanced assembly lines much worse.
Yeah, and moons, if it doesn't have a moon, it's really quite poor. It's like really tax for money.
It really hates to resist ice a lot of the time. It also makes Architect quite a lot worse because it doesn't pay for itself. Resing a Fairchild is just like a punch in the face. Here we go. So we're going to start checking things. Oh, that's a good asset.
Trash it, right?
Of course you do, yeah.
So what I like Patrick's line here, he's not checking the old assets because he knows they're not of value.
Yes.
He almost doesn't need to. And later in the game, you can probably check them. I mean, there's even a chance there's no agenda on the table.
Yeah, that doesn't seem crazy to me because even if Ollie had it, he can't really take the turn to score it.
Yeah.
And one thing about Patrick's deck is obviously it really doesn't want to trash things early. But once you get to the mid to late game, you get quite rich, and you might as well just trash some bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
He'll just, he'll trash a moons, he'll threaten a blacklist, he'll even consider threatening a DBS. Because at some point you need to convert that money into a win, and a good way to do that is strategy bits.
Yeah, so it's worth talking about Blacklist now. I guess that's a very powerful card against Shaper, primarily because they play with their heap a lot. So I think he has Moose in the deck because it's a crazy card.
He does have Moose.
But you've also got clone ships. You've probably also got Levy. So you're doing a lot with your heap, and the same one thing.
Yeah.
Doing a lot with your heap with this deck, and Blacklist is a real pain, especially if they can just keep recurring it.
The other clever thing you can do with it is, of course, if they discard a clot, planning to clone chip back when you score, you go, Blacklist, and they cannot score.
In that precise voice.
Yeah, I mean, don't always laugh at your opponent, but if you know them, it's probably not the worst etiquette in the world. So there's a clone suffrage movement.
So
that is a good thing.
It's
to
a must
sneak
trash
out,
asset. It's going to recur the ELP, but he almost can't afford to play this ELP. It's
he doesn't need to trash it yet. There's no good ops in the bin, and
the ELP stops Patrick even wanting to check assets.
Yes, exactly. Ollie would really love just one advanced assembly line here, right? Because then he can do something with Friends in High Places.
Yeah.
Right now, Friends in High Places is just not really working for him.
Yeah.
So clicks credits and plays that ELP, which does get rid of the strike, and it does disincentivize checking things.
Yeah, but again, suggests he's got no assets. Because you don't click for credit if you've got even one asset.
And ELP is really good when every runner click is precious and they need to use run econ. But Patrick's got a bunch of click compression on the board in Astrolabe and Daily Cast, so it's not such a huge tax, right?
Yeah, so he's res Blacklist now. That might be earlier than I want him to res it.
Really?
Well, it's not doing anything now.
No, right? That's an interesting one.
All you're doing here is alerting him to the fact that he has got a Blacklist you might have to deal with. So
Hyperdriver?
Hyperdriver, which is just tempo.
Yeah, no one panic. This isn't a combo deck. He's just playing it for value. It's really good with professional contacts.
Yeah.
And also just, if you have a bunch of resources, it's just quite a good thing to play and use.
Well, yeah.
In this Moons matchup, they want to compress you on clicks a lot.
Yeah.
I played Funsies games against Patrick, and I got MCA Austerity to deprive him of clicks. He just popped Hyperdriver, so it wasn't that effective.
So it does much stuff, right? It lets you check a bunch of remotes if you need to.
Yeah.
It lets you click through Fairchild and still do other stuff.
Yeah,
so it's pretty flexible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely true.
This time, I think it's just a hammer Proco until he falls over. But
yeah, very respectable.
Yeah.
Really nice to see Proco in a cut still. I'm a big fan of Proco.
Yeah.
It's the thinking person's Laguna Velasco.
Of the Opus Laguna Velasco professional contact trio, it comes out easily on top.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
it's the classy man's doubling your click efficiency.
Exactly. Why choose between cards and credits when you could just get one of each? Nice art as well.
Yeah. Well, if you like kind of slightly strange-looking professors.
Oh, well, yeah, which I do.
Yeah, that's my point about the Blacklist. He's had to then go and trash it, but maybe he could have stuck that until a more relevant time if he'd left it.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I'm really struggling to see what moves Ollie can make now.
So,
Patrick can just control the board.
Yeah. So Patrick still has no kind of long-term econ. It is just Proco at the moment.
Yeah.
Some C, which that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So if he can still put a moon up, then he might be okay. The problem is Patrick now has the resources to play a Faust and then go and trash it.
Yes, exactly. So if there is a line that wins you the game as Ollie here, what does it look like? I guess you need a pretty decent piece of ice with a moon behind it, so like maybe a wraparound. Patrick does have an answer to that though. I guess what you want to do is you need to get a moon into play, install a thing, Friends in High Places for 3 counters, force Patrick to go in and trash it, force him to spend resources to get through the ice, get some tempo, use that to do another moon, and just like chain some moons.
Yeah.
That's what you would have to look to do. The problem is that requires a hand to align really, really nicely.
Yeah, so either Ollie has drawn no more ice, because if he had ice earlier, you would have iced the tech starter, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you've got to be thinking he has no ice. If Patrick has a legwork, I think this is a great time to legwork.
Yeah, I would strongly consider it as well, actually. And the other issue, of course, that Ollie has is he needs to install a bunch of new remotes to get some traction in this game, and that's just giving Patrick cards.
Yeah.
Astrolabe is a really good card to have in the meta.
One of my favourite designed cards, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a anti-asset spam card without being a silver bullet. It reacts to assets in an interesting way.
Yeah, it's not about getting assets out of the game, it's about letting these assets further your game plan, which is very Shaper.
Yeah, and it's very positive, it's almost positive feedback. So the other player isn't that annoyed and you feel good about it. It's not the sort of card you hate seeing.
Yes. Yeah, and it just kind of speeds the game up for both players.
Yeah, that too.
If you're both installing 3 things and drawing 3 things. And there's some tricks you can do with it as Corp too, sometimes with Sweep Sweep and stuff. So, one cost, 1 MU
I think it's a really
console.
well-designed card.
Yeah, me too. It was kind of the thing that made Chaos Theory a bit less popular because at one point the extra MU was a big deal, but then everyone started playing Astrolabe
Well, Shaper
anyway.
didn't have a console till then, right? And
No.
then, so you almost didn't want to play one.
Yeah, yes,
So
exactly.
Ollie again has clicked for credit.
Yeah, these credits just aren't really going to help him.
No. So at some point there's probably an R&D. I'm not sure what Patrick's event is, whether it's indexing or...
He just plays a bunch of R&D interfaces.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah, I think he might have a Makers too, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, I
HQ
like
event.
that a lot.
Yeah, you're so happy to do this because any money Ollie spends on ice is great for you.
Yeah.
This Eli costs him too much money, really.
And it's not punishing either. So if that was a fair child, then Patrick would have had to deal with it. Whereas
Yeah.
now Patrick gets to... So this is why Eli was a free of in Moon decks and then almost got cut entirely. I mean, some of them play one more.
So he's clicking through.
Looking through it, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
He's a long way ahead. Yeah, and you think that HQ is full of agendas.
Yeah.
I like the value of clicking through there.
Yeah, and sometimes when you think they're flooded, especially against moons, it's a bit of a risk to try it because if you're wrong, you've given them a bunch of tempo. But in this case, Patrick has got enough tempo
He's got spare tempo, right?
Yeah, so he might as well just chance it on the fact that he's going to win the game.
He's got cast on the table. He's going to get draws from Astrolabe, so he's so far ahead at the moment.
Yeah. And of course he's got hyperdrivers and legworks still in his deck. One of the things about Astrolabe versus Moons is you get so many cards that you end up just finding a hyperdriver, so you just play a click to gain 3 clicks, so it's very, very efficient.
Yeah.
So he's just going to get converted into efficiency. And basically, Patrick can make better use of his free cards of Astrolabe than Ollie can make off the assets he's installing, right?
At the moment by far. So Ollie, I think, has just drawn a Quandary, which is one of your best early game ice because it's a hard gear check.
Yeah.
But by now, Patrick has the answer to that gear check on the table. You can still make him use it potentially, as long as you've got an asset to put behind it.
Yeah, you have to make them use up the clone chip. Oh yeah, he doesn't even get the HB credit. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Passes back the turn.
I don't like the ice on HQ. I don't know about you.
No, me neither.
Again, it's an indicator that he's flooded.
Yeah.
He must be.
But it's not furthering your game plan, right?
Not
Not
helping your
losing
game
doesn't
plan.
help you to win.
And you really can't res it.
Yeah. So
This is a lady,
Patrick
probably.
it's a lady or just another hyperdriver.
That's
Yeah.
hyperdriver, yeah, that's okay.
Oh.
In
With a
fact,
Kate discount
I
as
think that's a
well.
better decision, right? Because lady is almost trying to push too hard at this point. You don't need to do anything aggressive.
Yeah.
A hyperdrive just helps you get set up. It keeps your money up. There's no need to go too hard. So I think that's a better choice than what I would have done.
Yeah, that's another clever thing about tempo hyperdrivers is if you end up with spare SMCs, you just turn them into clicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes as Shaper you draw like 4 SMC
Or you draw your programs, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything anymore. Whereas now, you can just say, okay, I'm just going to turn this into a few clicks for me. Hyperdriver's quite cheap. At 1 credit with 0 on the Kate discount. Patch continues to just use that Proco. He probably wants to find 1 RDI to make R&D pokes quite good.
Yeah, so he hasn't touched R&D yet, which is fine because worst case the gens are just going to HQ and they're not going anywhere from there.
Yeah, that's very true. Ollie hasn't seen a Jax in this game, of course.
Nope. I'm still really curious what those assets are.
Yeah, me too.
So I think at least one of them has been there for the entire game.
I'd be very tempted as Patrick to start checking him because you can trash them if you really
so
need
he
to.
either had the lady or he's just found the lady. But that's
Let's see what he does. Oh, he's not a dice man. We've got some counters going on here.
Retro power counters.
Yeah, I don't like the red ones. I would flip them over and use the purple ones, but
that's not okay.
to each their. Red does go
Red's
better.
the runner side, blue's the court side.
Okay, yeah, red does also go better with green. So
Does it?
I think so.
You're the fashion expert in this team.
Yes, I suppose so, but I don't tend to wear a lot of black and red, so red and green, so I don't know. But I think it does. We'll have to get a color expert on later. So runs again.
So
Pops SMC.
Yeah.
This is fine to do, right? Because you know where the blacklist is. If you hadn't seen the blacklist yet, you would have to be careful. But I guess you're not even worried about needing clot.
So if he gets
Ollie's on 2
Faust,
credits.
so had he got a Cyber Cipher or something, or any conventional breaker, he may have left himself vulnerable to friends on the blacklist, then you can't get into remote.
Yeah.
Faust is effectively a one card answer to every single gear check.
Yeah.
So you're not even worried about friends on the blacklist because you've got the card in play to deal with any gear check.
Yes, exactly. And the only commonly played gear check that Faust cares about is wraparound, and of course he doesn't care about that because he has a lady in play.
Yeah.
The interaction between Lady, Faust, and wraparound is quite fun in that Lady, even if you don't use a counter, is making wraparound strength 0. So you can just discard a card Faust. So he goes in, he's going to access a card, there's another agenda.
Yeah. And normally I would not like these accesses because they're actually, so that's costing quite a bit of money and time and board presence to go into that HQ. But I think the read is that he's so flooded that in this one instance, a single access is worth it.
Yeah.
And he might be going back in.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. And the Astrolabe again makes me love this line because if Ollie gets back into the game, he gives Patrick a bunch of tempo.
Yeah.
So it's a card, a credit, and a Lady Gown to get into HQ, and this is a Dirty Laundry run, which is really nice.
Yeah.
There we are, yeah. I'd be interested to see what else is in Ollie's hand, but it doesn't look like he's the kind of man to
if you
flip
could do
him
the
over and show.
gentleman's flip to show, here we go. Oh, no.
Yes, there's two more.
Yeah.
The gentleman's flip.
And it read like that, right? I think.
We didn't get to find out what the assets were on the table.
I know, we'll have to ask him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
So that feels like a well-played game by Patrick. I think he made almost all the right decisions. He drew well. Ollie just never got into the game.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because Ollie could have had a really impressive draw there, and Patrick probably would have been able to contest it, and we could have seen a really exciting game.
It could have been really interesting, but it did what Moon sometimes does, which it's so reliant on it's a really powerful strategy. If you miss that line, if you don't get that start, it can be really difficult. And you can recover from it. And there's a few things you can do. Like sometimes you can ice a remote and play almost a jammy game.
Yeah.
But it just never was afforded the opportunity to do that. So.
And Moons is quite bad at coming back from behind against any prepared runner deck. I mean, against decks that are really badly matched up against you, it sucks. But
especially
any wizard or
the
any
SFT
deck.
version.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's very true. Because you don't have the cheese ABT line.
Yeah.
So
not that line's very good against Shaper anyway because you can't really biotic them out because they've got Clop.
Yes, exactly. So. Yeah, I mean, at least we did get to see Patrick's deck. I guess if we're going to see Moon get a draw like that, it's good to not see it against a wizard deck we've seen 100 times.
Yeah, that's right.
It was good to kind of see Patrick's deck doing what it wants to do. He still played his game while also poking for the accesses he suspected were going to be good for him, which is a really good line.
So I think, by the way, Patrick made 4 single accesses that game. And maybe 3 out of 3 on HQ. Yeah, he won 1 off the board and 3 out of 3 single accesses on HQ, which normally would be ridiculous, but in this situation, I think you could see it coming. Yeah,
well, funnily enough, although Criminal is big on single accesses because of Desperado, but as Shaper, it's often quite good because you're prepared to deal with anything that goes wrong.
Right, yeah.
So if you go, you're going for a remote play, well, I'm going to build this incredible rig right now and then go for it. You might as well poke for some single accesses. Yeah. Denies your opponent outs, basically.
You've just got to look for when you've got the spare tempo to do it, which Patrick did a good job of, I think.
So I suspect we're going to have a little while before our next game because that game was quite quick.
Yep.
Although they are both quite methodical players, so they weren't. I mean, if they were two hyper-fast players, that would have been over in about 5 minutes. As was, they both played a bit more carefully.
Yeah.
We don't know what else is going on with the cut. We haven't had any reports of any games yet. Interesting. That was quite quick. Okay. So Don Bowden on Scorp just beat Dave Everington, who's playing Frantic Coding Wizard.
So Don was the second seed. He will now play Patrick in the next round. And that means that they will flip sides. So that will be Patrick's HB, which is a Batty Rush Rig Shooter thing.
Yeah.
Again, a very unconventional deck that Patrick has played. He plays his own decks effectively and hones them over time. I'll be against Don's Cipher Wiz.
Yeah.
They won't play each other. I'm talking nonsense.
Well, it's good to live in that theoretical world, isn't it?
What a game that would have been, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an opportunity missed. So actually, Patrick will play the winner of Tim Fowler and Sam Burdock.
Yeah. So I think, are we going to go? Cool. So we are going to head off for a bit and we will maybe see you guys again to commentate another game.
Yeah.
Unless someone cooler and better looking steps in to replace us.
Seamus, basically.
Yeah.